Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as the scholar in residence and rabbi of UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is August 12th, 2025. That's 5.5 years of Torah every single weekday, finding each other from across the world to say hi to friends like John, and Penny and Lydia and Tara. It's good to see you. Thank you, Penny. It is broadcast 1365. Michael, it's good to see you. Linda, sending love to you in Florida. Let's see who else is here. We're going to get started in just a moment with a bracha and then some learning. Andrew, nice to see you, my friend. Sandy and Richard, Boker Tov. Okay. Ooh, a whole bunch of people just jumped on the screen. David and Jack, Jonathan, Marilyn, Amy, and Carl, Boker Tov. Fabrice, sending love to you in Paris. Michelle, good to see you too. My love. Hi, Neshama. Everybody give Neshama some love. She shared yesterday a beautiful thing that today's Torah is in honor of. I'll speak about it in a moment. Mordechai and Jerry, Linda and Barbara, Cecile and Arlene and Barry. Good to see all of you. Okay. I'm glad, Tobian, to see you too. I'm not sure why some of us are having a challenge with Facebook, but I'm glad that we're able to find one way, either Facebook or Instagram. It's good to see all of you. Let's take a breath. Siona, blessing you as you're about to take a blood test, blessing you with good answers, inspiring, healing, solidifying, hopeful answers. Okay, Catherine and Linda, it's good to see you too. Hi, Deborah. Let's take a breath, sing a bracha, learn some Torah. Ya la 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 la, didi I la la la, didi I la 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 la, I la la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah לעסוק בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, לעסוק בדברי תורה. דדי אי לי 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 לי, דדי אי לי לי לי, דדי אי לי 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 לי, אי לי לי לי. Good morning, everyone. So good to be together. It is broadcast 1365. It is day 676 since October 7th. First and foremost, friends, send your hearts with mine to the east, to our beloved 50. We want them home. Everything else I'm going to say today is commentary. It's not the only thing that I'll be speaking about, but it is the pounding thing in my eyes and in my heart. Today's Torah, I want to dedicate in two directions. One of them, let me begin, as I always do and always should, with my beloved wife. Neshama she just completed her first year of rabbinical school, but what many didn't know until she shared it yesterday on her Facebook page is that she, as a younger college student, was almost finished with her degree when she left to do some sacred singing with her father on tour, and until just a few months ago, never completed her college requirements. She had one course left to do. And so, in the midst of everything else going on, my amazing wife, my teacher, my best friend, completed her college studies and shared both the vulnerability of that and also the pride with all of us. And I want to dedicate today's Torah and my heart to her. Shifting gears entirely, while I'm inviting you to share a Mazel Tov directly with Neshama, I also want to note that today is 8 years to the day since a far-right rally in Charlottesville was held, and Heather Heyer, Zichrona Livracha, lost her life. It was 2017 today. May Heather's memory be for a blessing, and may we remember the dangers of hatred, because it was not so long ago, that in this fragile republic we call the United States of America, that people with hate in their hearts and tiki torches in their hands marched openly, broadcasting a message that was literally a quote from the forged protocols of the elders of Zion, among the most violent anti Semitic tracts. And 8 years since, though the language has changed, there have been those who have marched with kindred hatred in their hearts. And so today, and all days, it is our obligation to make sure that we tell our history, that we remember Heather, that we do not lose sight of the fragility of democracy. And when hatred is the tone, tenor, and text of our national discourse, we are in severe danger, one subgroup at a time. And so may Heather Heyer's memory be for a blessing. May her family be comforted, and may we remember the lessons of that terrible, terrible day not too long ago in American history. Now, part of this relates to at least the language I'd like to bring out from this week's Parsha. I'm going to be referring to a teaching by a beloved mentor of mine, Rabbi Bradley Shavit Artson, who has changed the lives of many, many people for the better. His writing, his heart, his wisdom, and his wicked sense of humor have been a blessing to me. First, the Parsha. We're in Parshat Ekev, and this week we continue to hear Moshe's urgent message. He's worried that we will forget our own vulnerability. He's worried that we will forget the experience of having been a stranger in a strange land. In fact, he's speaking to the generation after. So he's speaking to the generation, the second generation survivors from the liberation from Mitzrayim, from Egypt. And what a powerful realization that Moshe, it's hard to say these days, is the last survivor. Our work at UJA is very mindful of that reality, of the survivors of the Shoah, who we love and honor, and we will love and we will honor. Please God, we should be worthy and faithful to their testimony. Moshe is the last survivor, and he needs to know that we won't forget. And so every part of the book of Deuteronomy that we're in, the book of Devarim, is flavored with his intensity. He needs us to promise. And he's worked with us a long time, and our parents. He knows we won't listen. And so when you hear both the threats and the promises in this week's Parsha and in the entire book of Deuteronomy, you have to remember, and we owe it to our ancestors, especially Moshe Rabbeinu, to remember how much love pervades all of this. His worry for us should be felt as a gift, even if it's burdensome. There is a verse in this week's Parsha, I'll just read the English. Keep all the mitzvot, I said English and then I said mitzvot. Keep all the mitzvot which I command you this day, that you may be strong, and go in and possess the land into which you go to inherit it, that you may prolong your days in the land. That last part of it, that you may prolong your days in the land, is interesting because it doesn't sound like an unconditional promise. It's not, you get the land and once you're in it, fine. No, it's actually, to quote a different teacher, it's what Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel taught, which is that we are called not to see the land as inherently holy, but as a testing ground. Will we be holy once we are self-determining? Well, that is the language actually of Deuteronomy. So to see this verse and to read it in light of our history and our ethical mandates as complicated as they are, and as reactive as we can be in our pain, to the moral mandate to feed people. And it seems like this is a moment of deep pain in our community and reactivity because we are not done, even with the pain, let alone we've barely begun the healing. But this is part of our work. To hear Moses' words to us today. So listen just here. Listen. The verse says, "Keep the commandments which I command you this day, that you may be strong and go in and possess the land into which you go to possess it, that you may prolong your days in the land." So listen to what Rabbi Artson wrote. This is years ago that he wrote this. The land is of importance not as an end in itself, but as the necessary backdrop for the fullest possible encounter with God. Only within the land of Israel is it possible to observe all the mitzvot commanded in the Torah and Talmud. You know this, I hope, that there are hundreds of mitzvot listed in the Torah that are only possible in the land. The land is a sacred means to an even more sacred goal. This is Rabbi Artson's language. The ultimate goal is to observe all of the commandments, including to, quote, have one law for yourself and for the stranger, including to seek peace and pursue peace, including the very rule of loving the stranger, because after all, the Torah tells us 36 times, we were strangers in a strange land. This is how Rabbi Artson concludes his comment. The land matters because it can lead to the creation of godly Jews. To the extent that we utilize the promise of the land to become more compassionate, more loving, more just, to that extent alone do we merit inhabiting the land, and only to that extent do we fulfill the purpose of our being there in the first place. The ultimate goal of Judaism, Rabbi Artson writes, is to build godly Jews. The land, as with every other aspect of Judaism, is a sacred rung on the ladder of holiness, but the goal remains holiness, not the ladder itself. I want to remain in the heart of Torah as I say this, and I am compelled because I'm watching hateful reactivity within our community to the vast numbers of Israeli citizens who are protesting the government, trying to have a say in the adjudication of this war and in the prioritization of the hostages still held by Hamas. Many are also here and there. And when I say many, I mean within the community that just passionately loves Israel and has worked day in and day out every second for the release of our hostages, the dignity of our people, the safety of our college students, the correction in American culture, certainly, of the horrible, horrible reality where statistics of anti-Semitic incidents are still on the rise. We are working on this day in and day out, and by we, I mean you and me and countless other in this army of angels who remember history, who love Torah, and who love our homeland. There are many who love Israel so desperately, and like me, who wear rusty amulets around our neck for 676 days and show up and teach and sing and raise money and go to heal our people's hearts. Many also remember, as Moses called us to do in this week's Parsha, that the ultimate goal of Torah and the ultimate goal of living in the land is the opportunity and obligation to fulfill these mitzvot. by providing food for hungry people. We are not supporting terrorists. We're feeding hungry people. And yes, I know the response. What would, quote, they do for us? And I gotta tell you, since October 7th, my answer is much more cynical and jaded and calculated. That has happened in my heart. But what I cannot allow, and what Torah does not permit, is becoming callous to other images of God. I didn't know Heather Heyer. Maybe she would have been, because of her proclivity towards justice, taken in by the horrible, horrible, twisted language of so many progressive circles that turn what they think political sentiment into anti-Jewish action. Maybe she would have been taken in by that. But does that mean I shouldn't remember a human being who was killed for saying what she believed? No. No. None of this diminishes our prioritization of the return of our beloveds. We hold them fiercely and have not slept for almost 2 years because we love them so desperately. It's not just the love, it's the action. It's not just the action, it's the showing up. It's not just the showing up, it's the mobilization. It's not just the mobilization, it's sitting Shiva over and over as part of our family. We are who we are, and our best selves, our sacred heart, is called for now, too. Somehow, we have to still be soft and warm people. We have to treat the stranger and the citizen the same. We have to feed people when they're hungry. We have to be safe. We have to protect ourselves. We have to stand up for Jewish dignity. We have to fight anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism everywhere. Everywhere they rear their ugly heads. And we have to feed people when they're hungry. We didn't make them hungry. But we have food, and they don't. And it's as simple as that. The promise in the verse is to fulfill all the mitzvot so that you may prolong your days in the land. We are committed, like never before, to our home. I invite you, friends, I invite you to just search your heart. Be good inside yourself. Reach out to friends in Israel. These are hard times. And learn some Torah. And if you see someone being reactive, please let's not think that back and forth on social media gets us anywhere. If you see someone posting something that is just not based in reality, don't engage. That just feeds the algorithm beast. Learn some Torah instead. Call a friend. Take a breath. Be a mensch. This is our chance to get it right. We waited for 2,000 years for the chance to go home, keep it safe, and get it right. Part of getting it right is never compromising on the safety and the dignity of our family. So in all of this, with all of this, take a breath. Send your heart to the east. Call out for the release of our beloveds. Let's sing. Kol hod balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia עוד לא אבדה תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends.